but maybe you've given me a chance to live." From that moment forward, the story of two broken men began, for Samuel brought Daniel back to his struggling ranch, where fences leaned and cattle groaned, where the fields were dust and the house echoed with emptiness. And Daniel, though weary and unsure, rolled up his sleeves and began to work beside Samuel, not as a slave but as a partner, each day proving that the strength of a man is not measured by his age but by his will. And together they mended fences, hauled water, tilled dry soil, and nursed cattle. Yet more than the work, it was the silent bond forming between them that carried the ranch through the nights. For in Samuel's kitchen, over plain bread and beans, Daniel shared stories of his stolen youth, of the songs his mother once sang before he was taken, of the lashes he endured, and Samuel shared his grief, the memory of his wife's laughter, the weight of trying to raise a dream from dust, and as they spoke, they found in each other the family they had both lost. But the town was not blind to this bond, nor to Samuel's defiance, and whispers began to rise, cruel tongues wagging that he had wasted his money, that the rancher had gone mad buying a man nearly broken, and creditors sharpened their teeth, waiting for Samuel to fail so they might claim his land. And on one particularly hard day, when the well ran dry and a calf died in the sun, Samuel collapsed by the barn in frustration, cursing his fate, and Daniel, instead of pitying him, stood tall and placed a hand on his shoulder, saying, "You bought me thinking you saved me. But you don't see, Samuel. You gave me a reason to fight. And now I'll fight for you, because neither of us are done yet." And those words struck Samuel like a hammer forging steel, rekindling his spirit. And together they pressed on, day after day, until the land itself seemed to notice. For shoots of green began to break the soil after a rare rainfall. Cattle grew stronger, and the barn, rebuilt by their hands, stood proud against the horizon. Yet trouble was never far. For men who profited from suffering despised seeing Daniel free, and shadows of old masters began to stir, promising that the peace Samuel and Daniel had found would not last long. But in that first chapter of their lives together, the truth became clear. Two broken men, bound not by chains but by choice, could carve hope out of despair, and though storms loomed ahead, both knew deep in their bones that what had begun was more than survival. It was redemption. It was family. It was the spark that would change everything, not only for themselves but for all who watched from the edges of that dusty town. And if you, dear listener, felt even a tremor in your heart from their journey so far, then let your spirit ride with them by subscribing to this channel. For more stories of courage, sacrifice, and second chances await.